Hi, this is Tolik and Adana of the Andromeda Galactic Council and Star Ancestry. Today is Sunday, July 19th, 2020. Today's Transformational Shift Life Radio segment is the fourth in a series regarding prominent executive members of the Andromeda Galactic Council. Today we'll be doing a biop on Azar, the Chief Medical Officer for all of the Andromeda Galactic Council hospital medical ships. Joining me for this introduction, this look into Azar's life, will be Adana of Star Ancestry, also known as Andromeda, the Director of the Higher Dimensional Telepathy, Observation, and Advisory Board for the Andromeda Galactic Council. I'm having her join me because she is an absolutely open, 100% conscious telepath, and also because she works with Azar on almost a daily basis in providing Star Ancestry and Earth Mission reports for her clients. And Azar is her point of contact up on the Andromeda Council as Chief Medical Officer. So, Adana, sister, great to have you again. Thank you for being my guest and for being the spokesperson for Azar.
You're quite welcome, brother. It's good to be here, and I'm looking forward to having Azar, whom I'm very close to.
Yes.
And worked with her for many years.
Well, yeah, your Star Ancestry clients have kept her and you really busy recently.
You bet.
Yeah. Hey, you before we dive into Azar's information, we don't have to name him by name, but you told me that you've got a new client from the Slovakia Republic.
Right.
Would you share with people some of what his experience is all about? Apparently, compared to a lot of other people writing in, this guy is pretty awake and aware.
I was amazed at the conversation we had just the last couple of days. He did all the research himself. I mean, he's awakened, and he's just followed along with a lot of the research in terms of interviews. And a matter of fact, he had Debbie, who did an Akashic reading.
Right. Debbie Solaris, yes. Okay, yeah.
And he was like, wow. I mean, a lot of the things that confirms to what he felt that he is from and the star system that he came from.
Okay.
And he found out about us through some of our interviews, and he was drawn to contact me. And he felt at home. It's like, it's hard to explain. It's when people out there in the world began to connect with other people that are awake, where they feel like they've come home.
Right. And it's easier. It's like talking to a friend they haven't seen in a while.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a high level of comfort.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what makes him unique, other than the fact that he's pretty awake and aware? Is it because he already had a sense for some kind of Andromeda heritage?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's interesting that what he previously discovered before he linked up with Debbie was that he felt drawn to the Andromeda people.
Okay.
And a lot of the things they did, he had his own life experiences through his own attunement. With his higher self, the part of himself, the soul essence part of himself, that resonate with the Andromeda race of people. And but she also said that he's had other lifetimes that his soul essence been to Lyra and have been to the Pleiades.
Okay.
And it confirms to what you and I knew, that we have had many lifetimes on many worlds,
right.
but that we are drawn to dominant type of star system, just like what he's going through with his Andromeda connection.
And just like Chief Golden Light Eagle mentioned at one point in time, people each have their own unique vibration, and that vibration is also unique to each star system.
Right.
Or in the case of the Pleiades, to the Pleiades star cluster.
Right.
And not only that, but to a particular star system within that star cluster. You know, you and I happen to be from planet Dakota.
Right.
Other people are from Era. Other people are from Lyra. I mean, it's a fascinating story that this guy has, that he's so attuned and so wide awake. And so now he's looking to you for more details.
Absolutely. You know, I did write to him yesterday and said, what would you like to know more about? Do you want to know more about your connection with the Andromedas or the Lyrans or the Pleiadian people?
Mm.
And he said, I feel compelled, feel strong link with the Andromedas, and he wants to know more about it in detail. What the planet looks like, what the people looks like, you know, what did he do?
What's his work?
His
work, sure.
From the planet. So he is very excited. Very excited. He could not wait to get his report. I got goosebumps all down my arms. And it's like having a holiday celebration. To him, this is his celebration.
Yeah, he gets kind of like a star ancestry birthday gift.
Absolutely, that's right.
That's cool. Well, since you and Azar are going to be doing all of the work for this guy, and Azar has been your somebody that's a really good go-to person, because she has all of the soul records of all of the Earth humans over time. Today's, as we talked about, today's conversation is a biop about Azar and who she is and where she comes from and the kind of trouble she gets into.
Oh my goodness, Azar, and she is giggling and laughing and prancing around. You know, her vibrations is so upbeat.
And also, we'll reveal to the audience that she's been waiting for us to do this interview for a long time, months on end. So we'll thank her, because she's been very patient while we've gotten on with our own lives.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start with the formal questions. So we'll ask the question of Azar. So we happen to know her, but. So for the audience members, who is Azar? Where is she from?
Okay, Azar is a chief medical officer aboard the Andromeda Council main biosphere.
Right.
She is from the Pleiades. In fact, she's from our homeworld, Dakota.
Right. Yeah, to get a star system.
Yes.
Homeworld, Dakota, same place as us.
Yes. Yep. And her appearance is like she has kind of like a mixture of black, brownish type hair, shoulder length, and she's very tall. She said, I am taller than you. I am 7'6". Yes. And I'm going, okay, Azar.
Yeah.
She
and she's pretty. She's a pretty girl.
She is. She's very beautiful. She has sparkling, light brown eyes. You can actually see the laughter.
A little mischief.
Eyes.
Yeah, mischief going on.
Yeah, mischief going on. You got the right word. And she loves to tease people. She likes to pull a prank on some of her officers when they least expect it.
Right, including her husband, who's our brother.
That's right. I mean, she learned from the best that you think you've got it numbered, watch out for me. I learned well from my husband. And I can do just as well as pulling in prank as he did.
Yeah. Well, We were pretty good at it in our youth. And from what I remember we were talking about earlier, she grew up actually close to us, just outside of our home on Dakota.
Yeah, it's just like she's like a neighbor, and we hang out as kids when we were growing up, and spent all the time together.
Yeah.
Going to school together, going to the worst, and play hide and seek, and do all of the things that usually
Kids.
most normal kids would do.
Yeah. And so, because it's not a proper decorum to ask a lady's age, we'll just say that her apparent age, if we were to look at her as a young Earth woman, she would be like in her young 30s?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, we know that she grew up in Dakota. We know that that means that she was also, because she was a neighbor of ours, she was from our country called Katrina. But she had a long education because she's, to use plain words, a doctor. She's a physician, as we would know her. Why don't you also tell people how a quote-unquote physician or healer on Dakota is different from a classically trained physician healer on Earth? That's A, and then B, where she did that. Whether it was the other country that she had to go to, or other places where she trained around the different star systems.
The method of the physician,
Healer.
MD, doctor, healer, they call themselves healers, would be born with this gifted ability that she's had. And she knew that she wanted to better the lives of the people, not only on Dakota, but other life forms that exist outside of Dakota, to other worlds, other dimensions. And the method that they use is primarily, as we are learning here on Earth, they're talking about energy, light, sound. There are highly advanced technology that provides these things to realign the people's inner core of their soul essence.
So if for lack of better words, if their energy patterns are out of balance,
right,
she uses certain modalities, certain tools, and feel free to have her tell you about exactly. And I know we've talked about this before, but sound, light, vibration, frequency. What else?
There are imagery that she would see. When they come into the healing room, so to speak, they lay on this silver table, and basically,
is there a scan done?
Right. They have technology that runs across their body, their form.
Sure.
And they slowly scan the energy, the frequency of the energy. Is it more? Is it less? What about their light part of themselves? Their frequencies. What about the sound? What vibrations of those sounds can benefit that body or that imaging? So they scan all of this and then go back and then key in the frequency needed to work with that particular body, with that particular energy signature of that body, which is different than what we are familiar with here on this planet. Doctors use different types of tools here, but they're not quite there yet in terms of using the right type of technology to be able to bring us back into balance within our bodies. So, with that being said, she went to continue to her more extensive education
Sure.
to Volcanid, which is the country where a lot of the healers and the energy workers will go to on Dakota, because there were travelers from other worlds that have medical technology. Healers have their own way of contributing to add to what we know on Dakota.
Oh, okay. So sort of like visiting professors with acknowledged visiting status. So if there's a healing institute, I guess there are people coming in from different star systems that contribute their knowledge.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask a question simply from intuition. Might it be correct to say that a lot of the adjusting or attuning of the frequencies are based on different crystals? Would that be correct? Okay.
Yes, they have crystal. They have different. It's kind of like a tuning fork,
right?
What you do with the piano, right? And it matches up with the piano. If it's out of balance, they have to tune it in, with the tuning fork. It's the same thing, same method of what they do with the crystals. And there are other planetary crystals from other worlds that have different vibration levels.
And probably
depending on the dimension, whatever dimension you're at, it has different codes, different frequencies.
Yeah,
and you combine that with what we have on Dakota, that really caused it to become more evolved in healing techniques.
Is just as an offshoot question, might it be correct to say that? Well, I'll just ask the question: is Dakota then known as an extraordinary healing institute because we have people coming in from different star systems bringing their unique attunements, frequencies? Is that kind of accurate?
Yes, it's very accurate, because the Dakota planet itself, how should I say this? It's mainly a healing planet, because people on Dakota, through their strong telepathic mind, sending out the energies to other planets, including that of the crystals, the technology. They don't have to leave Dakota to go to that planet, especially neighboring planet, to do the work. They could do it from Dakota. They could send it out to that planet, because I have had a dream where I've seen this happen, where a Dakota planet from a neighboring planet, I don't even know the name of the planet, but it was far enough away that they call out to us that we need help, because that planet had some kind of exotic disease of some sort, and they're not able to counteract that. So our people, through the Dakota High Council, call in the planetary meeting to send that energy to that planet, and it turns out it changed from being overrun by whatever disease they have had, and cure those people within that planet. So Dakota is very, very strong in their healing abilities and telepathic abilities to be able to do the service to the universe in their own way.
Yeah. So multiple access to not only the crystals that we have on planet, not only the healing modalities that the various healers use, but also integrated access to other crystals and technologies from other planets that have been brought to Dakota. That makes, you know what, that kind of makes sense. I'd never thought about why there have been sent to our solar system, they've been here for a while now, the 12 Andromeda Galactic Council Biospheres, and 6 of them are hospital ships. Well, it kind of makes sense now that the Council is utilizing Dakota's unique combination of crystalline healing technologies, because we've got this wide spectrum of modalities that we can use to help people.
Right. Right. It's very true that's why we have so many of the hospital ships available to take care of what we need to take care of with the planet Earth itself and the solar system within this sun, star, if you will. To further that, Azar has been picked by the Andromeda Council to take on further training prior to stepping up into her role as Chief Medical Officer within the Andromeda Council itself. And so they would send her to all of the member planets that Andromeda Council has a list of,
Right.
to gather more information and understand that their years are more than what we have
Right.
here.
Right.
So they have more time
Right.
to study, more time to go into in-depth, more time to research and do the...
Because our people are living literal spiritual lives. I
Right.
think they're, 5.3, 5.4 vibration these days, fifth dimension. We would look at Azar and see a young, beautiful woman with Earth apparent age of about 32, maybe 33.
Right.
But literally, based on how we calculate time on our planet, she's in the thousands. She's in the thousands of years old.
Right.
And that's still young.
She is still young, and she is very focused on the healing abilities, what is available out there in the universe.
Right.
And she has traveled to a number of constellations that we're familiar with. You have the Arcturus, you have the Boost constellation, you have the Sirius,
Procyon,
you have the Orion, you have the Pleiades. She has been all over.
Yeah.
And extensive knowledge like that under her belt, so that she could be able to assist whatever life forms, and she calls it life forms, so I'm used to the term life forms, assist out there, the different dimensions, different evolutionary patterns, that she wants to be able to do the best she can to bring about the healing of all levels of the soul essence. Just like she's concerned about our soul fractal essence here on Earth in terms of our emotional, our mental, our spiritual, our physical body.
Right.
That's a lot of bodies in one form. And so she has to use these different techniques to be able to, bring that back into oneness of, the internal
alignment, balance. Alignment, balance, sure.
Right.
As long as we're here, I thought we were likely going to address this later, but since we're here at this moment in this conversation, I think it's really relevant, given this topic that is affecting everybody's life on Earth, and certainly here in the U.S. Was there a very specific purpose that those of the 12 biospheres, again, 6 are hospital medical ships? Is there a reason why 6 hospital medical ships were brought here to this solar system at this time? Now, you and I know that there are some considerable more changes coming to this planet in the very near future, but can you shed some light and insight as to why there are 6 hospital ships and what role Azar and her team will play in the near future?
Okay. This is a large-scale project.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot here, so I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Right. Azar and her medical team comprises of different departments. Just much like what we have here on Earth in terms of physical healing, emotional, mental healing, spiritual healing. On the hospital biospheres, they work with all of that elements for humanity, because there's so many of humanity that is not awake. And this is a big concern for Azar and her team to do their best to try to bring about healing on many different levels. Right now, Azar said, we are so busy with what is happening to Earth right now. The people, their minds are fragile, their minds are chaotic, their minds are at a place where they don't seem to know what direction to go and what direction to believe, or how they're going to survive what has been happening in the last several weeks. So Azar and her team have been assigned to the regional sectors to where, they keep monitoring all of these people. Now, does that mean that the awakened people are not affected? Not by any means, because there are awakened people who sense and feel what's going on around them in terms of the emotional, mental, fragile state of mind that these people outside of their circle are affected. So the awake and aware people are having a tough time trying to maintain their stability in terms of calmness and the sensation that they're feeling from the wall itself.
Yeah, and I would imagine the immediate general public that they're coming into contact with, all of the very afraid, COVID-fearing people who are out in general society that have their masks on all the time.
Right.
By vibration, we can sense them. You can see the fear in their eyes. There are a lot of those people out there.
Right, and on the hospital ship, she has counselors available. She has medical team that run the scans, with the people to see what they can do about the emotional, mental state of being. She has people that will upgrade their educational sense of understanding of the truth of what's happening on Earth, and the reunion of remembrance of what they were prior to their incarnations on Earth. Sure. She has places where people can go, like the parks,
we've got a few on the primary biosphere. I mean, every biosphere has a bunch of parks.
Right. It will help them regain the sense of peace that they need for themselves. There are so many activities that these people that are under her guidance. She said, you got to stop to think that you have, 7 billion people? About 7 billion people on Earth?
Yep, sure.
So, if you look from outside and looking down on Earth, you see all of these energy signatures, blips of light, on Earth. You could see the ranges of frequency, going up and go down, go up and go down, or go chaotic. That's a lot of monitoring. That's a lot of people that we have to deal with.
As we're talking about this topic now, I had never really thought about this topic at this moment in this way. So I'll ask the question. Everybody that's heard us speak before over the years clearly understands that after there will be an upcoming period of some significant Earth changes, that there would be a lot of Earth people that would get treatment on the various Andromeda Galactic Council hospital ships and by their medical teams and everybody else. But what about present day? Do you know if Azar and her people are taking on board via each person's incarnate soul fractal? Is there any movement from, we'll say Jennifer as a person, an Earth person by the name of Jennifer? She's having a difficult emotional and spiritual time with this current time of COVID going on. There are probably a lot of Jennifers and Tom and Phils out there that are having a difficult time. Are people's soul fractals leaving their body at night on an occasional basis, going to the Andromeda Council medical ships and getting treatment even today?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They are. That has been ongoing for many, many, many years.
So even though people don't remember or realize it, they're
right.
Okay.
Right. They may not remember it. That's one of the things that Azar wants to talk about.
Okay.
When we get through this answer question session here at the beginning. There's a lot that she has to say about that, and she wants to tell it to the people personally.
Okay.
But definitely, yes. The thing about people taking up, especially the ones that are awake and aware, one of the things Azar stressed to me is that whatever we are at that moment of time, tense or stressed or having some kind of situation going on with our bodies, we need to be more aware of requesting more assistance, because at this time period it's escalating. It's just skyrocketing.
Yeah, this era, which I'll just generically call COVID, whatever it is, people's level of anxiety, especially in that base of people who is very afraid.
Right.
Whether the reality, whatever the degree of reality that COVID is, for the people that are very, very afraid, they're very anxious.
Yes, they are.
And that's debilitating for somebody.
Absolutely, absolutely. We care, she's saying that we care about all life on the planet. Not just only the people that are awake and aware, but people that are asleep too. Because, one day, so they may change their mind and wake up. They may change their mind through their life experiences, what they're going through. It's going to wake them up. Maybe it takes something like this scenario of the C-19, according to what they believe that the government had put out. It's going to wake up some people. and
more like jar them.
Jar them. It's the positive sign for us. It may not be the outlook of what people see, but to us, that's part of the change of awakening them and say, hey, wake up and see the real truth for what it is.
Right. And each person has the right to make a decision about his or her own body, his or her own spiritual self, emotional self, the education that he or she wants, all of it. It's our responsibility for our lives, not somebody else's.
That's correct. That's very much so. Yeah. And so for us, we see that as a positive sign. And even though it may seem
making lemonade out of lemons.
Absolutely, okay. Absolutely.
Got it.
You got it. So that itself brings us that much closer to helping those people as well. So we do what we can for every single person in life forms that matters to us on the planet.
Before we move to the next step of allowing Azar to speak through you, as a way of speaking, what I'd like to do is touch on this COVID topic for one last moment. What does she and her team see or acknowledge as the reality of what COVID is or isn't, and how, if there's a way that she has a way of looking at this or sharing it with us, how much longer it'll have, if you will, an emotional impact on people here on Earth. So, first of all, an assessment of what it really is or isn't, and how dangerous it is or isn't in all reality, and then some kind of possible, time frame, wrap up, whatever. And I'll let you. I'll shut up now, and you go ahead. And
Azar said, and the reason why I'm laughing is she said yes and no.
Okay.
So some part of what people call C-19,
right?
It's actually just flu symptoms, flu base.
Right.
Other part is the fact that the
powers that shouldn't be, deep state, pick your words, go ahead.
Shall I say, created stories, fake stories about certain things within this process.
That's right.
Because there is underlying plans, if you will,
and motivations. Keep going.
to create this big, massive, chaotic scene, if you will, being played out. The numbers are not correct. The determination to create not only fear, but to create confusion among the people. Who's telling the truth?
Good point.
Who's telling the lie? It's also teaching humanity to go within and discern for themselves. Are these people telling the truth, or are they telling a lie? That's when the action takes place. So in other words, don't believe everything people say. And what I mean by that, in terms of the officials who said this and this and this and this. Right. Look at their actions. And sometimes their actions speak louder than words can say. So, humanity can change all that. Humanity has...
Yeah, we have the power.
We absolutely
right. We have
the power for sovereign citizens of this universe, you have the power to say, no, I am not going to believe that. I am going to stand by my truth within myself and maintain the calmness within oneself throughout this chaotic world that's going on. But there are people who it's reaching the point where they're going to have enough's enough. We could see from our monitor screens of the energy patterns of the people is rising. The people are reaching the point where
their patience and their frustration.
Exactly. Their patience and frustration has reached its limit.
Yeah.
And we foresee this now, in your Earth time is in July. We foresee this escalation mounting in October of this year, because people are going to say, hey, we're not going to take any more of this manipulation, mind game, control.
Well said.
Over
of people's lives. Yeah, people's lives. People's lives, their businesses, their money, their education. It's affecting all aspects of our lives.
Right. So that's what's going to take place. And people want their normalcy back. The normalcy that they've had prior to the C-19 is gone.
Right.
And people are grasping for normalcy. They want their normal lives back. Or they're not getting it back. So this emotional, mental state of being is rising to say, no more. We've had enough.
So you see that, I'm sorry, Azar sees that peaking in October-ish.
Yes, according to our monitor screens and confirmation from our commander, who also watches this readout, that's what our commander is seeing, close to possibly would peak in October. And of course, for Adana, she forgot all about the election coming up. The election is coming up in November. Wasn't aware of that. But what I'm showing her is seeing this rise of the emotional state of people are going to reach a point of, shall I say, getting their independence back, fighting for their independence. They're going to make their forces known, their forces heard at that moment of time. And it'll just start out small, and then all of a sudden it'll spread like wildfire throughout the world. It's not just here in the United States. It's global event. This whole global event of people are going to say enough's enough.
Right. So, though most of you didn't pick it up, we shifted from speaking with Adana and her providing her own insight into Azar's life. And because Adana is such a complete, open, and conscious telepath, she just easily shifted into Azar mode about 5 to 7 minutes ago. So I'll continue to talk to her as we're speaking with Azar. So Azar, as we look at the rest of this summer, which you could say typically would go to, at least where we live in the desert Southwest, to the end of September. If October is a time frame when people go, this dog doesn't hunt anymore, as a southern metaphor, and no matter how we look at it, it's not this life that the healthcare structures and the different government officials are imposing on us is not the way we want to live. And Azar has clearly told us that people will be saying, essentially, I'm not going to take it anymore. And we're going to start making different decisions so we can control our lives and direct the destiny of our lives. So can Azar, would you please share with people what that process kind of looks like as we get through mid-October, late October, into early in the election? And then just let's address that part of it, and we'll pick up whatever's left after that.
As people began to rise up, it's kind of like Phoenix rising up out of the ashes. As people rise up to begin their quest for freedom, their quest for independence, to begin to, as you have said, make right decisions for the type of life that people as a group can come together. It's gonna be in small groups, people.
So it's really about like an effort of multiple groups of people saying, I declare my universal sovereignty.
Right.
I'm a sovereign citizen of this planet and of this world. Of this planet and of this solar system. And I have a right to my freedoms. I have a right to my sovereignty. No more control.
Exactly. That's what they're waking up to in pockets of areas throughout the world. Will discover that for themselves, that they can speak and say, as you have said, about their independence and their freedom, to create a harmonious life all across the board. Because all of these paradigms, the old paradigms, is shutting down, is folding down, is falling. That's what's happening right now. You can see it all across the board, whether it's political, economic, social, education,
pharmaceuticals, healthcare, right?
All of that is falling apart and it's breaking down. There's a purpose for that in breaking down, so that
Thank you.
The unity of the groups of people that are waking up to realize we have the power to make the best changes that we can make for this planet Earth. So with that, they can begin to help each other. Everybody will begin to shift to create a better life, if you will, through their own gifted abilities, whatever they may be. Some people are farmers. They could go across. They could trade with some people who are builders. They say we need to build a barn for animals. There is no monetary system involved. That's also falling apart.
So what I hear you saying is that no matter what, if you will, money systems that are in place today, whether we call it the euro or the dollar or the yen or the yuan, do I hear you saying that ultimately all of these established different denominations of money on a either per country basis or per region basis in the case of euro, that all of these money forms are going to fall, including digital, even the bitcoins and all those digital forms, which is, digital money is, I have sort of this identified, if you will, for lack of better words, token, and I can pass my token to you and there's no bank involved.
Right.
Do you see that until this planet changes on a physical, literal, spiritual, energetic level.
Right.
While the planet's still organic and we're in these bodies, does anybody in the council, including Azar, see digital currency as a means of exchange? Is it long term? Is it temporary? Or is it just kind of like a passing fad, and ultimately it's going to be, all right, I've got some wheat, you have some rice. We have some clothes, you have some fruit. You guys have copper, we have some gold and silver. Is that kind of the way it'll turn into, where it's mostly...
When you see the last
trade.
couple of weeks, you've seen everybody's experiencing all the money is you can see that it's going away. The businesses are slowing down. There's no coin to be had.
Yeah, I wonder where all those literal coins are going.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's everybody's having to step back and reevaluate. Okay, how am I going to live my life? If I'm not working, I'm not bringing in income, what am I going to do? And so, if you look outwardly, you can see the paradigms of economy is dropping. And it's going to drop down and bottom out. First you see cash, paper money.
Right.
That's going to go away. Then you see all of the coins. Eventually you have some of that. That eventually will go away. You see the digital that you're talking about. That's only going to be for a short period of time. That's going to go away. So all you have left
is trade.
Right. So that's what's happening, is folding down. And you can see that in the last several weeks. It's
which
going to bottom out.
I would anticipate it's going to continue to happen, right, as you just said, until it bottoms out.
Right. It's going to continue until it bottoms out. People need to be encouraged as to not... the earth term would be freak out. Because of what's happening. This is an ongoing process of you're going through a shock of this change.
Right, because all the systems that we've, whether right or wrong, functional or dysfunctional, they're all falling. All of the systems are falling and falling apart, both.
Right. So it creates a shock to the system of the people, and they don't know what to do. How we have been living in this type of society for centuries.
That's right.
For centuries. All of a sudden, we're at the height of the civilization.
Yeah, we've hit the peak.
We've hit the peak.
And we're coming down pretty hard.
We're coming down pretty hard to begin a new way of life, a new way of being. But that's another reason why we have our hospital ships, to help these people get realigned in their own belief systems, their own pace of wherever the level of belief system they're at, and to get them to realign and to help them understand this is what's happening, because the powers that shouldn't be will no longer be active. Because when you bottom out, they're trying to hang on for a little while longer, but they're also doing things that is detrimental to the people of Earth.
Well, you're choosing your words very kindly, but it's interesting that we're actually talking about this today in July of 2020, because when you and I first started this work back in 2011, 2012, 2013, we were talking in those days about a moment in the near future history of Earth whereby there would be this transition and ultimately money would go away. Not because of a new world order, per se, but that planets who go through this evolution and ultimately, when they're finally peaceful, get invited into different collaborative organizations of different collaborative cosmic organizations, different federations, different groups of planets. Based on everything we've learned, there's no money being used in these advanced civilizations in deep space. All of the trading is literal trading. It's cultural exchange, it's product exchange, it's knowledge exchange. Rather than me talk about us, feel free to jump in and sort of fill in the picture here.
This is
but
wonderful.
It's coming. I mean, it's coming sooner rather than later.
Right. It's a wonderful experience when you have Andromeda Council's members, star nations, having different contribution. There is no lack thereof for anybody. We have the whole universe to be able to exchange with each other. The program is set up on the Andromeda Council. One of the things that they wanted to do, first of all, first and foremost, is to make sure that the people are healed, they're balanced, they have been caught up on the education of the Star Nations, exchange programs. Their families want to learn more about the planets where they're attracted to or interested in. There'll be exchange program. There'll be housing available for them. There'll be food. There'll be clothing.
Just to be clear, we're talking about the things you're talking about now. We're talking about a period sometime in the near future after all of the social, political, economic changes have happened, governments have fallen, Earth has finally become peaceful again.
Right,
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is what takes place. It gives you people a sense of hope because what you're seeing now, to us, is only a short moment. Even though it appears to you it's a long time. But for us, this new way of life, this new beginning of what you will experience, you will no longer have to struggle for anything. You will no longer starve, or you will no longer have the diseases that you've had over the centuries. All this is just some of the things that's going on with conversations within the Andromeda Council itself.
Right. So, to use different words, but to explain some of what Azar, I believe you're saying, and I've talked about this in the past, but I want to make this clear. Does this also mean that, and I know we're talking about a bigger picture here than just your role as Chief Medical Officer, but you're interacting with so many people on the council, you know what's coming, that for the people of Earth, are you also saying that Earth's lives will no longer be dictated by money and survival, but rather that the new way of life will simply be based on whether it's trade from people on this planet to another or trade from one community to another? The issue of survival and money and earning a salary and am I going to have a house that's all gone? Those issues go away?
Those issues will go away. People will have a chance to be themselves. They can have a chance to develop their own gifts. They can have a chance to be happy in what they love most. And they have a chance to expand their knowledge in other fields that they would have had if they were here at this time period. In that time period, when everything is changed, it would be a whole different world. It's a whole different way of life. And people will be a lot more at ease, a lot more at peace with themselves, with each other, with the planet. And there's something to look forward to. As Azar would say, I really wanted to address this to all of you. You're my brothers and sisters. You are star people from other stars. And you came here to experience life on this planet as human beings. But you also came here with Earth missions. You're here for that purpose. We hear that you cry out to us that a lot of the things that is presented to you on Earth, it doesn't fit in with your belief systems of what you came from in other worlds, other dimensions. But we're here to help you. There are so many things that we see in you that you can rise above everything that's happening in your life, wherever you are on this planet. It's important for you to know that you can call upon us if you have a problem financially, if you have a problem with your health, if you have a problem with your mental status, whatever the case may be, all you have to do is go within yourself and call upon your Star People family, your guides, your teachers, and request help right then and there. Say, for example, I don't feel well. Find out what you don't feel well within yourself, and then ask one of our medical team, say, hey guys, can you help me with my muscle spasm or my arm? Can you help me with my heart? You're going to feel the sensations of their presence, whether it's through warmth or through tingling sensations or through pressure. You feel like somebody is touching you on the shoulder, or orbs of light, like at nighttime you will see little blinking orbs of light. Those are all healers, because you request for their presence. And they want you to know that they're here for you. That's their service to you, because you are part of their families. You are part of the group, the soul group of their family. And it's only natural that star people from other worlds will come in contact with their own star family members that are incarnating on this planet right now. And just be aware that we are here, and we're coming closer to you than you could even possibly can imagine, because of the higher vibrations, because of the changes that are coming into the Earth. Also, there are our allies that are stationed on the planet that walk among humans. You won't even know that they're walking right by you. You won't even know they're there. But they're here for you as well. And they will make themselves known to you pretty soon. They will introduce themselves to you and to let you know that they're here for you, and they'll do what they can to help you through this time period of the changes that's coming into being. So my brothers and sisters on the planet Earth, you think that you're alone, but you're not alone. You will never be alone. All you have to do is ask, show yourself to me, whether it's by balls of light, orbs, or whether it's the ship in the sky, or whether it's just a feeling of sensation that they're touching you on your shoulder. You can't see them, but they can see you.
Yeah.
This is something that, because we love you, and we've been here for centuries, and we will stand by you through this, what you call the dark times. And it's only for a short moment. Then everything changes. And we will be reunited together to create a new world for this planet and its people.
Wow. Very, very, very powerful. Azar, you use some words that we, as part of certainly the awakened, aware, fully conscious people that are part of what we would call an awakened community, not only here in the States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Europe, or across the globe. I will speak now of we as Earth humans who've heard these words many times of, it's happening, it's coming soon. And we all chuckle, or at least in the past couple of years we've all chuckled. It's like, it's a lie, these are 4-letter words, soon. My understanding from having conversations with you, in this case you meaning Adana, with Mark Kimmel, with Joe Anthony, other awakened friends of mine, that this time around, soon is not years off. Soon is actually months. Can you comment at all on that?
It's actually true in what Tolek was saying. Looking back on 30, 40, 50 years ago, we had more time. We kind of at a slow pace, chuckling through those years. But in the last several years, many of you have seen the escalation of manifestation occurring a lot faster.
Good point.
In this last year, you have seen more manifestations from other dimensions, whether it's UFOs, whether it's orbs, whether it's an actual person that materialized and dematerialized.
Many more ship sightings.
Many more ship sightings. They're stepping down. What I mean by stepping down, they're not far off in the distance of the sky. They are coming down to you so that you can get accustomed to their shapes of the craft that they have, and you can sense the love coming from those star families, ships. You can also sense if you don't have good vibes about it, then you'll know you can walk away from it. But that's very rare. Most of the sightings have been from the Andromeda Council, and our allies, motherships, have come down here to say hello to you. We're here. We're not going away. We're staying with you. Nowadays, it's weeks and months. I mean, we've had, Tolek and I shared experiences where we had manifestation happen within hours of each other.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how fast it's moving.
Right, and those manifestations end up being confirmations of knowledge,
right,
that we had of information we had talked about recently, and we have these aha moments. And I've spoken with many friends in this awake, aware, fully conscious community, and they're also saying that these moments of wow confirmation are like bang, 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 very, very quick these days. And to speak specifically about the 80s and 90s, those were years of you'd see or hear about something, and then maybe a couple of months later, certainly, and then it became weeks later, and then a few years ago it became days later. Now it's happening within an hour or two. Manifestations and confirmations are happening really, really quick these days.
Right.
And that's now is one of the reasons for that is because of this higher area of space that this solar system is traveling through, so that everything is ramped up. The vibrations are higher, the frequencies are higher.
Yes.
Okay.
It is. We're going through that space to become more fine-tuned, if you will, to the sensation and the appearances of the manifestations within y'all's lives.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation. There's been certainly confirmation for both Adana and I in terms of what we've talked about and discussed in the past. Azar, are there any specific topics that you want to address before we sign off?
Just know that there is, how should I say this? To be aware of, it's going to escalate in terms of what is happening. It's the old phrase that you've often have heard people would say, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So,
right.
Because of all the things that's going on.
Society, people's actions, if you will, irrational, illogical decisions made on different government by the part of different governments, governing factors. All this is going to get worse.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. So, my suggestion, if you will, to all of you is to tune in within yourself and ask, where do I go from here? What guidance would you give me? Do I need to move to another place? Do I need to stay here? Do I need to create an environment within my own place? What is it that your guides want for you to know? You can tune in within yourself. You need help, you can go and go online, especially. You can go to YouTube and be guided to listen to some of the messages, whether it's verbal communication by telepathy, or whether it's tarot cards, or whether it's some messages are there for you. Right. That will help you get to that next place.
Other people who are spiritual adepts.
Exactly. Sure. That will help you during these upcoming days. And pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to not only the big things, but pay attention to the little things. The subtle signs, like for example, for Adana, it's usually a number 5 on a house number. Number 5 is to Adana. It means physical manifestation. Adana is paying attention to that. That's the little sign.
Right. Or things that you may dream or experience in your late sleep. 3:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, 111, 222, 444, 555. All those numbers have deep significance in terms of a connection to the spiritual realms.
This is all we can help you with, because we can't interfere with your life experiences, but we can step in when you ask for help.
Right.
It's just that simple. All you have to do is ask us. We will step in to help you.
Yeah.
And for the closing, Chairman Duckworth of the Andromeda Council, Vice Chairwoman Tanya, have expressed this to me to relay to all of you. They understand what you're going through. Their hearts go out to all of you. They want for you to hang in there. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You will get there. You will make it. You will survive all of this. You will be able to tell your children, your grandchildren, what a wonderful, life-changing event of transformation in your lives. And don't give up. That's one thing Chairman Duckworth wants to say. Do not give up. We have not given up on you. We will always walk beside you. We will always monitor your soul essences on this planet. And your thoughts are with us. Our thoughts are with you. We love you. Always. That's the message that they want you to know and to have at this moment in time. We thank you.
Azar and Adana, thank you for all of this information, for digging deep and giving us some details, sharing of your life and what it was like on Dakota growing up, and as you traveled the cosmos and learned different technologies, bringing them back to Dakota, as well as the insight in terms of what's going on today here on planet Earth and our future. For any and all of you who might be interested in attending a live physical conference with people meeting each other, greeting each other after not seen each other in maybe a couple of years, we are holding a live physical conference in the ancestral home of the Tonkawa, Comanche, and Lipan Apache people in the beautiful rolling Texas Hill Country. It's called Wapila, a special gathering of spiritual friends and family. It's going to take place the last weekend of September, the 25th through the 27th, and we'll have some amazing speakers like Adana, as well as some just fantastic Native Americans, people who you've met before. Clifford Mahudi, a Zuni Star Elder, Rob Simone, who's a producer and host of Coast to Coast AM, David Still, author of the book It's Our Planet Too. David's from Australia. Garrett Duncan, an amazing Navajo shaman. Mike Teotecha, he's a Hopi Katsina storyteller. Tom Dongo, the author of The Opening Portals of Sedona Merging Dimensions. Brad Olson, award-winning publisher and author. Rahilio, a shaman of the Toltec people. Itzan Are, Annette Moody, Dan Brock, and a whole bunch of other people. We have equal to the size of the number of speakers from our 2016 conference. It is going to be an amazing in-person event, COVID withstanding. And it's going to happen because we've reserved the facility. It is private. It's a private facility. Public governmental rules don't apply because it's a private facility. And so there are going to be a bunch of us there talking and interacting with each other in a very, very congenial, happy setting of, if you will, spiritual family and friends. And so If you're at all interested in joining us, you can go to the transformationalshift.com, the transformationalshiftevents.com website and look for the 2020 Wokpila Gathering button, and you'll have all the information on the conference. And of course, I have in-place early bird discount specials, multiple ticket discount specials. I'm doing everything possible to make it affordable for as many people as possible. So that's my pitch for this this conversation wrap up, and I thank all of you for joining us. Adana, thank you. It's always a pleasure. You'll be here for the conference?
Of course I will be there.
Okay. Yeah, you'll get to see her and talk with her in person, and she'll be there available for reserving a star ancestry report, whether basic, premium, or star mission, Earth mission. So for Adana of Star Ancestry and the Andromeda Galactic Council, and Tolek, myself, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week and great rest of the summer. And as the people on this planet would say, the Oyate Lakota, Wodakota. Peace to you all.